What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest gaming podcast on the internet, the One Up Gamescast. I'm one of your hosts, Carl Sinclair, joined as always by my brother from another mother, the man with the plan, Master Cheeks in the sheets, Master Chief in the streets, Jack Gim. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, mate. It has been a very, very big week in the video
Huge,
games. Otherwise, uh,
huge.
it's good to be here. We've made it. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm not feeling very well, so I'm glad most of the big things that have happened this week have happened to you because it means you get to do most of the talking, and I just get to sit here and chill out, crack a can, have a good time. But yeah, no, I'm not too bad. I've got a little bit of a cold at the moment, so there's going to be some content going up over the next few weeks that I'm just going to sound like Darth Vader, but that'll be fine. That'll be fun. People will be able to tell when stuff's actually been recorded. So,
Yeah,
the problem will be is if in 6 months' time a video goes up and I sound like this, and people will be like, "Hang on a second, wait a minute."
or it'll be the Doom Dark Ages Collector's Edition unboxing. That video.
Yeah, that'll be a dead
I've been
giveaway.
marked.
That'll be a dead giveaway. But yeah, no, I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm alive for now. How are you?
I'm good. It's been yeah. We did the podcast last Friday, so Saturday I managed to go down to the Nintendo Switch 2 experience in Melbourne. Just like got a ticket through bit of a lottery system, I guess. And yeah, got to be there for a couple of hours. I really didn't know what to expect going in, to be completely honest. And when I got there, you're sort of like in this lobby area, and the dude's like, "Oh, you guys can be here till 6." And I'm just like, "I gotta be home at 6. What the fuck's going on?" And we get led into this room. You get paired up. You get led into this room to sit down and play Mario Kart, split screen on the TV. And I'm like, "Oh no, this is like a walkthrough, like as in this is a 4-hour experience." And I was like, "Oh shit."
You're like, I'm locked in.
I'm locked in. Like, all right. So I text my partner and I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna be late. My whole family's coming for dinner, but you'll have to look after him. I'll bring dinner later." Anyway, so we sat down, played some split screen Mario Kart, which is pretty good. Runs very well on split screen. Then we got given a Switch handheld mode to play Mario Kart again. It runs well in handheld mode, and I can report the Switch 2 feels very good to hold. It's very, I mean, it like kind of feels like the Switch. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of, it's kind of got an iconic feel. Like it's like when you pick up an Xbox One controller or an Xbox 360 controller. They're different, but it's an Xbox controller. It's not a PlayStation controller. So it's sort of, to be fair, it sort of just feels like a Switch, but it's so much nicer to hold. The plastics feel nicer. The sturdiness feels better. The size is obviously bigger and much better for, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for like children, but I think for us adults, I think it's a great improvement. Weight wise, it feels like just a hold, if I remember correctly, maybe like slightly heavier, but like honestly, proportionally, it doesn't feel heavy at all. All the buttons feel great. The screen appeared bright or bright enough. It's I'm sure there's a hard balance with battery life and HDR and all those sorts of things, but it seemed bright enough, at least in the room we were in. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how much to say about it, but it just felt like a more polished Switch. It's definitely an evolution. And it's unmistakably the second Switch. Like it is a Switch. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't really know if I can say much more about the console itself because I feel like everything I expected was just like, yep, bang on. Like feels bigger, feels great. The refresh rate and everything. Like a Mario Kart must be running at 60 frames. Like it was very smooth. So yeah, that's probably my initial impressions. And the size of the screen is great. Like the improved size. It's and going to 1080p, so like similar sort of resolution, relatively speaking, I guess. It's very nice. The bezel size, very nice. Oh, honestly, man, it felt like we had that discussion, and I know we've had it offline several times. I've had it with other people as well. Like the price tag being $700, I think most people think it's a bit steep, and that might still be true, but the feel of the console is improved over Switch One. So because the Switch hasn't dropped in price. So we're going from like a $400 Switch 1 to a $700 Switch 2. I would say it feels that much better. Like you can sort of, as soon as you hold it in your hands, you're just like, yep, this is more. This is like it'd be almost like what I imagine getting like the PS5 Pro would be like in a sense, where it's like if you know move to it, if you just think about the difference in price for what you get, not the overall $1,200 price tag, but just the increase of $400. I feel like you can sort of you be able to see that on the screen. And I think the Switch 2 is the same. You can see that. Like I'm playing Mario Kart with 24 fucking players, and it's not missing a beat, you know, and it's higher res and it looks better and all these things. So I think the money question remains open whether it costs too much, but the value I think's quite all right, based on what I played. So I don't know if you had any questions about the hardware. Not sure if I have really any answers either, but it feels nice. Oh, the last thing was I got to use the charging grip, which is very exactly what you expect. It's just a slightly improved way to hold the Joy Cons if you're at your TV, but nowhere near as good as the Pro controller. But it does come with the Pro buttons on the back, like the third triggers. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah, that I mean they weren't fucking useless in Mario Kart. But,
Yeah, yeah.
they're there, and I think that's a nice little win.
How was mouse mode?
Mouse mode, yeah. So I got to try it on a couple of games, Metroid, Civ, and the Drive X Drive. Mouse mode is weird as fuck, but way better than you think it would be. So for anyone who's not aware, you can take the Joy-Con off your Switch, lay it down on the table sideways, and then use the trigger and the R1, R2 buttons as left and right mouse click, and then you can literally aim and shoot in a shooter like Metroid, or play a game like Civilization, where the UI adapts in Civ. So like you've suddenly got the little like Windows X buttons in the corners and stuff to close menus, and I think that's quite nice. I don't know. It seemed to be quite a high DPI. It seemed quite accurate. Look, I mean, if you're sitting in a hotel room, right, and you want to play some COD on your Switch, and you're a PC gamer, if you've got a $2,000 gaming laptop in your backpack and a Logitech mouse, that's probably going to be better. But if you don't have the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of gear, and you're just on the road, but you just rather use the mouse, like you'd rather use a mouse, and a Switch Joy-Con can be put in that mode, it is no gimmick. Like it is a very serious solution or thing. You know what I mean? Like it's not half-assing it at all. The left and right mouse can do it. In a game like Civ, whichever Joy-Con you place down first, that becomes your mouse. And then the other one, I guess, isn't a mouse. It's just a direction pad at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really know. Like everyone's experience can be different because it's like obviously this really narrow thing to hold, so it's a bit awkward. So I think everyone would have a different sort of opinion. But mine, generally speaking, is hey, it's no Logitech G502, but it's no gimmick either. This isn't like a fucking Kinect being plugged into the console. You know what I mean? Like this is a very premium solution. I just don't know like how many games. Like I don't know how many people are seriously gonna be sitting down with their Switch at a desk with enough space. You know what I mean? Like most people just want to sit on the fucking couch and play their Switch. So
Yeah.
I don't know how greatly used it's going to be. But hey, more than a gimmick. So that's I think a good thing. The only other bit of hardware I really got to play around with was the Pro controller. Had a little go on that. I mean, just like the first Switch Pro controller, it's just fucking beautiful to hold. Honestly, it's so nice.
Good.
Also has the 2 Pro triggers on the back.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't have anything else to report.
Do they get in the way of like the comfortability, or are they just sort of like
They are very light to touch. So if you don't map them, they won't get in the way at all if you accidentally press them, obviously. But I did find they were exactly where my fingers naturally were. Yep. And I found myself pressing them quite a bit while I was playing Cyberpunk. But again, they weren't mapped, so it didn't like fucking matter. But if you had it mapped to like, I don't know, switch weapon, for example, I think you'd be switching accidentally every now and then.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I think I'd have to play for a couple of hours and then it probably wouldn't be a problem. But I think they've nailed the positioning. And they're quite large, so I think that's good.
That's good. No, that's good. That's good.
I'll just touch on a couple of games maybe. I probably don't need to recap everything. There's an article up on the website if you're super interested. Donkey Kong Bonanza got to play. Don't think I've ever really played a Donkey Kong in my life. That game is very much Super Mario Odyssey, but for Donkey Kong, and it seems to be taking advantage of the Switch too well. Like you can you can really hustle around. You can move fast. You can destroy lots. You can, smash a lot of shit. I mean, it's just hectic. It's the most hectic thing I've ever played. But I think fans of the series, will be very, very stoked. The other thing, Cyberpunk was running on it, running way better than it probably should have. I did play it in TV mode though, not handheld.
Okay.
Seemed to be running like 30, 40 frames somewhere in there. Probably 30. Quite incredible that it's running. I think if you haven't played it yet and you need to play it on the go time-wise, I think it's going to be a pretty acceptable solution. And Drag X Drive was the other thing I really want to talk about. That game, it's so fun to play. Like it's legitimately really, really fun to play. And it feels a lot like Rocket League, obviously wheelchair basketball. It's really fucking fun. I just don't know if there's a lot of depth to it. I think it's going to have to be like a $20 game. Like if it's just one mode, like the pacing isn't like, there's only so much you can do relative to say Rocket League. So I feel like it's just going to be more of an arcade experience to show off the mouse control of the console. But I think it's going to do that very well. So that's pretty much it. I did get to play Breath of the Wild very briefly on Switch 2. Runs so well. That's going to be, I think a lot of people are going to want to replay that on the Switch 2. I think there's going to be a lot of that going around for the first few months, to be honest. But so that was a nice little treat. Got to do for a couple of hours. And I got to check out the Mario Kart Knockout Challenge mode, like the Battle Royale sort of mode.
Yep.
That is some hectic shit, and I think we're going to be playing that a lot. I won't really touch on it too much. It's in the article, but very, very stressful, and probably the best way to show off all interconnectedness because there's no breaks between the maps.
Oh, okay, cool, okay.
Yeah, so you really got the pacing was a lot better suited to the longer distances, I felt.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so I think the classic racing, I don't know, man. I feel like they're going to have to... I think there'll be patches for this game to speed up the intermissions. It just felt a bit slow in that respect. But hey, I was there for, it's better to play Mario Kart for 20 minutes. I don't want to like lash it or anything. I think it's going to sell just fine and play just great.
Cool. So overall positive experience.
Indeed, yeah.
So
if I wasn't sold on the console before, I definitely am after playing it.
So have you come away happy with the pre-order or...
Yes, I went and put some money on it the next day just to really solidify that pre-order.
No, nice.
Which does lead me to something else I want to talk about, which is EB Games announced their midnight launches for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
And we haven't had midnight launches for... Can't remember the last one. Like, it's been a while.
Yeah, it must have been a COD or a Fallout or something would have been the last major one.
Yeah.
Or Red Dead, maybe?
But even Red Dead, were they... Yeah, maybe it was Red Dead.
Red Dead 2 might have been the last.
We were in the city. There was definitely one in the city, but I mean,
yeah,
that is also in the city, so I don't know how widespread it was. Yeah, you might be right because like the PS5 and shit didn't have it because no one could fucking get one.
Yeah, no.
So they're doing, I don't know how many stores, but I would say like 60 or so stores are doing a midnight launch, and about
that.
More than that for breakfast, opening early for breakfast in the morning. I don't know how to really like talk about this, but it's actually been changed, which is crazy. Initially, though, the only way to go to a midnight launch was to be an EB Plus World member, which is $50 a year. And
that's crazy.
It went down exactly how you'd expect online. I think that'd be a fair way to put it. Yeah, so they've reversed it now. So basically, they're going to serve those customers first, and anyone else is allowed to come along and pick up their pre-order.
Yeah.
On top of that, if you send in your Switch 1 this week or next week, you can get a fast ticket as well. So if you trade yours in advance, you're good to go.
So dumb.
Dumb. Like, how did they think it was going to go? Because I read about the midnight launch, and I quickly did a scroll, and I'm like, oh fuck, my local's open for midnight. Said to my partner, I'm like, you know what? Like, we're having a good night with the kids and all that. I think I'm gonna go down and just pick it up. Like, it's I don't think I'm gonna go to another midnight launch after this. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel like I'm gonna take advantage of it. And then I fucking read the fucking catch, and it's honestly, even though they've undone it, I think it's just killed my whole spirit. I don't think I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
like,
it was
I
very
completely lost interest.
It was
Yeah.
very, very dumb. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea. I think they're trying, I think mainly, right, is they're trying to add value to that $50 that you spend a year, because at the moment I don't feel like there's much value there. Just like there wasn't much value for being a level 5 after the first year. But the problem
Look,
is
it's
they they're not adding it in any meaningful way. It's almost like they're going out of their way to piss off the majority of people that aren't paying for it. It's like they're trying to act like they're trying to make it like, hey, why haven't you got it? Here's a reason to get it. But it's like, I'm not going to pay like $50 for one midnight launch and then not use any of the other benefits. Just like, I'm not going to pay $50 so I can get a free pack of cards every 10 cards. You know, there's not enough overarching benefit. I mean, they've done the thing where it's like, hey, pre-orders for certain collector's editions are now locked behind EB World Plus. You know, that's annoying as hell for a collector like me. That sucks. You know, because now I'm paying extra to give them money, which annoys the hell out of me. And oh, it's a way to get around scalpers. Yeah, scalpers will spend $50 a year to make bank later on. Like, you're not really,
go. Yeah.
you're not
Nothing for
really
them.
doing anything crazy here. You're just sort of like making extra money that you haven't really done anything to deserve. So it was a stupid idea. I don't know who came up with the idea, but they're an idiot. If you're listening to this podcast, you're a freaking idiot. But try harder.
My thing is with it, you know, and a lot of this stuff we called out, and many people called out when it was announced, but the only way to get any value out of the program is to spend more money.
Yep.
The more money you spend, you might get a little bit of value out of it.
Yeah.
And that's great for almost every retail loyalty program. As in, they're free, you sign up, you spend $100, you get 5 off your next order, or, you know, whatever it is, right? But this, you've got to spend $50. So show me the value. And is all the value, the only value that's really shown up that's meaningful is by, locking the non-loyalty customers out.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just, like, if they said, hey, you've just got to be an EV World customer, like, as in you've just got to be level 1 to 5 or plus, and it's free to sign up, and then you can come to the midnight launch, that's probably fair. And, like, a lot of retailers use that sort of stuff to get around, like, legal boundaries as well and things like that.
What's
So
crazy is like that's what they used to do for midnight launches. Was anyone could come to the midnight launch, but if you were like level 5, you were the first. If you were level 4, you would go after them. If you were level 3, you would go after them. Like, we had this system. This system existed.
like it's like airplane boarding.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. We had a system. It worked. People weren't mad because people knew that the people getting them first. Well, you spent 10 grand this year. You should probably pick this up and get the hell out of here. You know, like people weren't mad. People tried to be level 5. It was a race, and then they literally made it, hey, you want to be better than level 5? You want to actually have, like, hey, pay $50. It's like, is it better than level 5 though? Because like, for me to get any benefit out of this $50 I've spent, I now need to go and spend another $100 on TCG cards or $60 on socks. And oh, you get a free gift worth $30. Oh, that's cool. So that means that the membership for the year was $20. But the problem is the free gift you've given me that you've told me is worth $30 that you paid $5 for from a Thai freaking market in the middle of nowhere. Like, what am I going to do with a ramen bowl? What if I don't like ramen? What am I going to do with a water bottle? Put it in with the other 500 I've got. You know what I mean? Oh, a beanie? Cool. I can use that 3 months of the year. Like, there's no value, and they are refusing to do anything that adds value. Like, if you want a loyalty... You want a loyalty system? Really make one for people that are loyal, because this is just like it just feels like a waste of freaking time and money. Like, I'm mad that I've got it, but if I don't have it, I don't get.
Yeah, you're fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, I get fucked over.
The problem is, like, a lot of loyalty programs work on numbers. So, like, think about Costco. I mean, Costco is probably a bad example, actually, because you have to have a membership. But, you know, if you think about retailers that do a lot of this sort of stuff, you know, it's a numbers game. Like, they have, you know, 80% of the customers that walk through are a member, and you can do shit with that. But it's because membership's free. That's like the whole. And I bet their EV World card, like the 1 to 4 that is free, I bet 90% of their fucking sales are with people that are in that program, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely.
So I guess they do like the tiered trading stuff and whatever. But again, like, you got to be a highly engaged customer to take advantage of any of that. Like as a
Yeah, and
like
also the higher level customers aren't, because a lot of those people that reach the higher level are like collectors or people that don't
they trade their
get rid of
stuff
their
in,
stuff. You know what I mean? So it's more of a benefit for them to get people up there to level 5, because they're not gonna trade their shit in. You know, like, oh, we can offer 50% trading value because you're not gonna use it. You know, like, the best level for anybody to get in on is level 1. They want people at level 1. That's where they want them, because the trade-in value these people are going to trade in. The trade-in value is terrible. You know what I mean? Like, they want people in, and I don't know. This it's just the dumbest thing ever. And Costco, Costco is not a bad comparison to make, because at least with Costco, I feel like when I buy my year membership, right, I barely get to go to Costco, but fuck me if I don't walk out of Costco the 3 times a year I get to go and feel like I've literally I've gotten out what I needed to get out of that membership. You know, I've gone in, I bought like my year's worth of toilet paper in bulk. I got like all these people walking around with free samples. You know, I've been eating. I went and got a hot dog for 99 cents. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, this was so worth it. I make a day out of it. I go to EB, and all I feel like is I've been scammed. Like when I log onto the EB website to pre-order like a freaking game, and it was the Ghost of Yote. Like, that was locked behind it, but they didn't tweet it out or anything like that until like 5 minutes after the pre-orders went live. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even care enough anymore to let you know that, like, or hype you up for things going live. You know why? Because it was locked behind this freaking EB premium, and they just weren't in the mood to deal with people being angry at them again. So literally, I probably would have missed out if I wasn't on the website and knew it was going to go live at 10, because it was literally written everywhere but their own website. And then I was like, cool, I've pre-ordered mine, move on with my life. But imagine if I was somebody that wasn't a premium member and I went there at 10 to pre-order and I just couldn't because I wasn't a premium. Then I go to sign up for premium and then I come back and it's sold out. Like, it's so annoying. I mean, that happened with me with Death Stranding too. It's just, I'm sick of them doing, it just feels real scummy, and it feels really unplanned, unorganized, and unnecessary. And I don't know. I think they really need to have a really good, decent look, because so many good things they used to do, like level 5, year 1, year 2, EB Expo, all that sort of stuff that was real community driven, stuff that people were happy to be involved in, a part of. They've just killed it for nothing. I mean, hell, they even killed the iOS app. I loved that app. I would use an Apple to this day if that app was still around. I would still have an iPhone logged into that freaking app. It was great. Able to check my carrots, able to check pre-orders, pre-order stuff from the app. It was great. It was a digital card in my pocket, meaning I didn't need to worry about having my actual card. And they just stopped supporting it. And it makes no sense. It's like, oh, we're not seeing many downloads. Yeah, because everybody already downloaded it. Like,
yeah, true.
You're bitching about there being no downloads. Well, everybody's already a member. They probably already downloaded it. Oh, we're not going
You
to
can
support it
tell,
anymore.
and this is someone who does not work there and has no real idea, but I can tell from the outside looking in that their infrastructure and systems are very old. Like,
Oh,
the fact that, like, they have a spot on the website to check your like pre-orders and stuff. That's great, but I go and put money in on the pre-order in store, it never shows up online. And to be fair, I personally understand how complicated some of those systems are to wrangle together. Like,
takes up
I'm
to
not
24 hours. 24 to 48 hours for that stuff to appear on your account.
Oh, let me just double check. Sorry, maybe I've.
As someone who worked there and knows how fucking ancient the systems are and how freaking every computer that they've got in service is literally running on fucking Windows 94, yeah, like it's a cluster.
Yeah, but I can't see the extra money I put down on the pre-order. So I can see the initial pre-order.
Yep.
But not the extra money.
It'll be there in a few days, probably. Like, it'll be days, but eventually it will happen. But it's really stupid.
And doing things in real time is tough. Like, it very much is. It costs money. It takes time, and some willpower as well, which is sometimes the hardest hurdle. But like, they're doing these fancy things, like a 6-tier loyalty program they've got going. You know what I mean? They're doing complicated shit, and I just feel like it's just like they're not keeping up with it all. Something's like out of sync. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'm probably just waffling at this point, but I just think like a decision like that to block a midnight launch behind the paid loyalty program is just like, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. Like, who couldn't see this coming? has been a problem.
So dumb. That like this is a moment where everything's supposed to be super hype, and you've done that. You know what I mean? Like, not only have you locked pre-orders for these things behind a loyalty program, now you're locking the ability to pick it the hell up. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, what the hell? That is the equivalent, right, of me needing a Macca's membership in order to order my fucking food and then go in and pick it up. Like, if I don't have a Macca's card, if I'm not a part of my Macca's, you're not getting it.
Tell you what, though, the Macca's drive-through, mate, them asking you if you're using the app today when you're not using the app really slows things down.
It really does. And, like, I know it doesn't sound like it does, but the problem is the way, those boxes are as ancient as EB's computer system. So, like, yeah, using the app today? No, I'm not. Okay.
Oh, bro, the Macca's near me has a full high-res camera looking at you now. And when you go around there to pay, they can just see, like, your face as you're ordering, just like up on the big screen. It's too much. I want to go back.
That's too much. We've gone too far. Bring back the all-day breakfast. That's what I say. Let's go back to there. That's where we need to be.
Stop at that point. Nothing more.
Nothing else. Bring us back.
Seen I was just gonna highlight. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was gonna say it's interesting as well. Speaking of retailers and Nintendo Switches, how many retailers are sort of getting in on this because they know it's like a sure thing. Like Officeworks and stuff, like going real hard on the Nintendo Switches.
It's so weird. Officeworks is one where I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing, guys?
Look, to be fair, they've started getting into the gaming gear again over the last couple of years. You can go in there and buy an Xbox controller and a gaming headset.
Yeah. But
it's I don't know, it just feels kind of weird. I saw on press start before, like Target's doing like they're opening their stores early and things like that. And I'm like, who on something that hasn't sold out? Who 3 weeks from launch is like, yeah, shit, pre-order at Target. That's what I'll do.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
GameStop is Target. Now, I'm pretty sure my PS5 is from Target, I should say.
Yeah. The thing is, Target's slowly been moving towards like Kmart does nothing anymore. In terms of proper gaming peripherals. I mean, they've got stuff that's like you can go in and get super Anko level keyboards and controllers and lights and sounds and shit. But like, as far as like proper licensed stuff, they just don't do it anymore. So I don't know. I'm kind of like surprised Target still does. Like, I feel like they barely do. Like, I feel like their TCG, their video game, their technology sections are down to almost nothing, and it's all homewares and stuff like that. So it's weird that they're making a push for the Switch thing.
I agree, but the thing that's left though is the core shit. You don't go in there anymore, and there's 36 Sims 2 expansions. Like, it's just, hey, here's the things that we know we can sell.
Yeah, that's fair.
And this is 10-year-old information, but I remember being told that dealing with Nintendo, like when you're Target and you're purchasing like the new Pokemon's coming out, right? And you go, hey, we want 100 copies per store because we know we're going to sell 80, no worries. Nintendo will just like ship you 5 per store and be like, oh, there you go. Like, apparently it's just like, like it's so hard to like work all that shit out. Now, again, this is old information. This is back in the Wii U days, but I just wonder if like that's why they've seemed gun shy all this time. But Switch 2, I mean, surely a sure bet. And like I said before, like there was some news actually. I didn't read the article, but it looks like Nintendo's attributing low pre-orders to the price of the console, right? I think, as per my experience last week, once people start having a go at this and start talking about it, I think by the end of the year, shit will be on fire. I mean, probably need a couple of RBA rate cuts between now and then to be able to afford it still. But if the money's available, I think spending it on a Switch won't be a bad thing by the end of the year. Yeah,
they just. I feel like the price is definitely one thing, but I think they need one killer game.
I don't think Mario Kart World is it.
It's not. It's not, because Mario Kart 8 wasn't it? You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows that, like, Mario Kart is always good. Do you know what I mean? It's not the run to need to play.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not insulting the game. Like, the game's amazing, but it's like
when I get a Switch, I can play it.
Yeah, like exactly. You know, it'll sell gangbusters like Mario Kart 8 did, but and Mario Kart 8 was probably the game I've played most on the Switch one. To be fair, but it's not like. I would just buy whatever Nintendo console existed to play Mario Kart. Like, that's not a reason to get a great portable console, you know?
Yeah.
So I do agree. I think the greatness is going to be when shit starts releasing that you've always wanted to play portably. Like I think like a Red Dead 2 or something on Switch 2 would go really well. Games like that I think will really set this thing on fire.
Yeah, yeah. Or we get like I feel like when we see a sequel to like a banger game that was on the Switch, you know, like an Odyssey 2 or
Oh yeah.
the next Zelda or, you know, something crazy like that. I feel like a Metroid that's built for the Switch too. I feel like, yeah, that'll be. I mean, from what you were saying, like Metroid Prime 4 might be the one. Could be the banger app that everybody needs to play that you know, they want a
think
Switch 2
it
for.
Yeah, I think the reason it's going to shine is because it runs on Switch 1. So they're going to be able to do that thing that games did back in 2021, 2022, where it's like, hey, this game's got to run on last gen. It's got to run on Switch 1. What can we do to make it Switch 2? Oh, we can't change the mechanics of the game. We can't change the maps. We can't change much. We can add graphics and frame rate. Oh, yeah, do that. Or suddenly it runs at 120 frames and it looks fucking glorious.
Yeah,
like,
it'll be like the
you know,
Breath of the Wild of this, because that was a Wii U.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Like it's going to look fucking gorgeous. It's not going to do anything extraordinary. Like the maps still feel tight. You know, all the Switch 1 limitations are still there, but oh my god, does it look nice. It looks a lot like if they ported Halo 4 to Xbox One the day it came out, like I feel like that's where we're at. You know what I mean? Like Halo 4 had more to give if it was on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Just graphically. And I feel like that's where we're at. It runs so well. I mean, I've never played a Metroid game, so like don't take me saying any of this like that serious. But I think that's gonna pop off. I just don't know if it being on Switch 1 as well will sort of make it not a Switch 2 killer app, because people who aren't sold on the Switch 2 will go, oh, fuck it, I'll just buy it on the Switch 1.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like most Metroid fans would probably be pretty keen on Switch 2. Like as in what I'm trying to say is that people who like Metroid who are interested in the Switch 2 will find more than just Metroid to play. Like there'll be plenty there for them.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. I'm keen as a bean. Can't wait.
3 weeks, mate. 3 weeks. 2.5 get the midnight launch.
Yeah, that's mental, eh? Not long. Like I feel like we only just found out about this thing, and like it's almost here. So that's crazy.
When I reflect on the year waiting for the Series X, this feels very good.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That's so fair. Yeah, very fair.
What else is on the agenda, if anything?
I don't know.
Did we talk about Indiana Jones last week?
Not on the show.
Oh, I just want to keep people up to date. I finally finished it.
Well done, mate.
Just want to sneak that in if I can.
I'm proud of you.
It's
we'll have to do
that's a great game.
We'll have to do a spoiler episode so we can just talk all about it.
Just do it soon, because I've been playing it for about 6 months, so I don't want to forget it.
Yeah, no, it is a great game.
It's really set the bar for established IPs becoming video games, I feel.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And it's a incredibly high bar. So I'm interested to see not like just like what they do next as well, like in terms of like what do we see from indie next, and what do we see from a licensed IP next, and that sort of stuff, you know, like very like more like a big licensed IP. I still feel like we're gonna get like Marvel games that are very much like hit or miss, but like, you know, big sort of like movies like that where like a John Wick game like we spoke about, you know, like seeing something like that.
John Wick game would be great.
Yeah, very interesting to see what they do with that.
I feel like Marvel's like always sort of been in the game space. I don't know, Indiana Jones has as well a little bit, but it feels like a real step in the direction of like bringing something to video games. Whereas like, yeah, John Wick, I think there's like a couple of little mini arcade sort of ish games which are cool, but I don't know what else you could do. But yeah, I'm hoping to bridge that gap more after Indiana Jones. Although it sounds like Machine Games needs to make a couple more before they're free to do anything else. Sounds like they're locked in for the trilogy. So we shall see how that goes.
Which I think is good to know as well. I think knowing that they're like locked in for a trilogy is great, because like there are so many times you get great games and then the studio never gets to make another one. You know what I mean? Like they were like the new Prince of Persia game, right? They're like, oh man, this Prince of Persia was freaking amazing, and then it was like, it didn't sell as much as one, and the studio's getting shut down. But like the other day, they put out a tweet that made it seem like we might actually get the sequel, or something more. So hopefully we do. But yeah, I feel like we're getting a lot of awesome games that don't sell as much because the crap games that people are just like comfortable buying because they know they'll sit there and play COD for 4 hours a night are like doing their thing. So I'm glad there's games like the Indiana Jones game, which is a massive IP, but I'm just glad it worked. I'm glad it went well. You know, I'm glad we're going to get more indie as opposed to like, oh, this didn't work. Indie's not a good brand. Let's not do this again. I'm glad games like Expedition 33 are doing well, and those guys are like have exceeded their own expectations. So it's like whatever they plan to do next has probably changed now. Like they've kind of like able to do whatever they want. So
Probably got the budget to do it because they're up to what 2 million sales. I think I read on our
yep,
website.
yeah, 2 million. Yep, they've
And a
passed the 2
million
million
plays
threshold.
on Game Pass. I don't really know what that translates to money wise, but yeah, good numbers.
Mental,
Good numbers.
really good. Good
I
for
would
them.
love to know for Indiana Jones, like, does Xbox look at that as a commercial success? Like, did it sell copies of Game Pass? Like, I don't really know how that works exactly, but
Yeah,
I wonder if it's commercially successful. I think coming to PlayStation will obviously sell very well and probably round out anything that needs to be done in the finance department.
yeah.
We'll see.
I wonder if it comes down to, I wonder if it's seen as a success depending on the amount of players that stayed with Game Pass as opposed to bought it for that month, got out after they played the game.
I just don't know like how you would measure that. Like, even if you had access to all the data, like, there's been plenty of months I've been subscribed to Game Pass and probably didn't play fuck all on it. So is that an indictment in whatever came out that month? Like, I don't really know how it works. I imagine I don't know. Like, if you finish the game, I guess that's a great sign. I'm not sure. Like, think about like Adamfall, because I was deciding what to play after Indiana Jones, and I went on to like the Xbox store and looked at Adamfall because I'm thinking about playing that next.
Yeah.
And like all the reviews are like, "Oh, game's great, buggy as shit." I'm like, well, like that's immediately turned me off until that game is fixed.
Yeah.
Does that how does that affect their Game Pass deal? Like, as in, do they get paid more the more people that play it earlier or longer? I would love to understand more about it. But I think, from Microsoft's point of view, I think this multi-platform strategy, like, I wonder, right? Think about this, right? Forza Horizon, Indiana Jones, come to PlayStation 5. Has that cost them a single Game Pass subscription? Like, of course not. So, like, they're just printing fucking money at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do we even need to worry about how commercially successful Game Pass is for first-party games anymore? Probably not.
I don't think so. Probably not. I think it would be. I think I'd like to know. I think it would be.
I would just love to know, selfishly.
Yeah.
I think this thinking was spurred up. I was reading a Reddit thread about Expedition 33 the other night, and people were like, just the whole thread full of people complaining about it being on Game Pass.
Trying to get hired.
Yeah. And I'm like, I mean, it's a million people playing it on Game Pass. I don't know what that translates to for the studio. 2 million people have brought it. I mean, that sounds like a win all around, right? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't sound like it could be possibly a bad deal at all.
Yeah, I don't think this game is as successful without Game Pass, to be honest. I don't think it's as successful without Game Pass and that developer direct which showed it off. I think this was the fact that the developers are in shock of how well it's done means that they were going into this expecting it to be a sort of like indie darling. You know what I mean? It could like this is not a AAA game. You know what I mean? But it's selling and looks and plays like one. You know, like it's an enigma. This game, like, how has this game been made and come out to be this successful in this day and age?
I don't know. Like, I've started playing it, and like I remember when we first started talking about it. When it was at the developer direct, I remember saying to you, like, it looks great, that map and all that stuff that was going on. Like, it looks awesome. Never gonna play it. It's just not a game for me. Like, it's over. And then, but that sort of stuck with me, how good the game was, because I watched the developer direct. It's on Game Pass. That's got me interested. I know it's accessible to me. Here I am. I'm like 5 or 6 hours in, and I would not have brought this game. There's no way in hell.
Yeah, Game Pass is great for that.
Like, I'm going to bed thinking about this game. Like, this game has such an impact. The only bad thing in this game so far is that this pivotal emotional moment, it pops up, Rainbow Six Siege is ready to play. I'm like, yes, I'm putting it on my Xbox again. Thank you, Xbox. For letting me know. Fuck. Um, and then like there's a sort of a couple of minutes, after the prologue or whatever, that's quite emotional and beautiful.
Yeah.
And year one operators are ready to download or play. Oh fuck! Year two operators are ready to down. Fuck! Like it
Man,
just the
Ubis-
notifications. I think something's got to be changed on the
Bro.
Xbox. But anyway, that aside,
How are
the point
Ubisoft
was,
fucking other games?
oh fuck's sakes. But all that is to say that if this game wasn't on Game Pass, there's no fucking way I would have booted it up. I just know myself, right?
Yeah.
Not saying it's a good thing. I just know that, right? So my point is that if I didn't play this or I did play this, does that change what the developer gets paid, or it just doesn't matter at the end of the day? You know what I mean?
I think they get paid. I don't think Game Pass is good for the developer monetarily. I think it's really good for them. I think it's
like
more
similarly
good.
how piracy is good for things.
Yeah, I think it's good for them in the long run. I think it's good for them to get this was great for them in terms of I think they came into this expecting to, not make too much, make enough to recoup costs, and maybe
Maybe that's what the Game Pass deal was all about. Like, hey, we'll break even at least.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I think Xbox paid them probably like what they put into it, but what ended up happening is, oh shit, like people started playing it, people started loving it, and then it's like, well, we gotta play this. Like PlayStation games are gonna play this now. People that love PC are like, oh, I gotta jump into this. Like it's just like this is the success story. This is the equivalent of Rocket League on PlayStation Plus. Rocket League free PlayStation Plus. I don't think anybody would have touched that game if they had to pay for it straight away. I think the fact that it was free on PlayStation Plus.
That's where I played it first.
Yep, absolutely helped that game become what it is today. I think Games Pass is the modern day version of that. I don't think we see the PlayStation Plus thing as much anymore, even though we're about to see Firebreak drop on PlayStation Plus. But again, PlayStation Plus, right? It's the free game. It still serves you pay for. Games Pass serves you pay for, and it's just on there. Except this is like this gen's version of Rocket League. Like it's a success story that came from people being able to access this game.
Yeah, I think you've really nailed a great part of it. It just feels weird that Doom's also out this week.
Yeah, true. Dude,
it's crazy.
It's mental.
Well, I hope being on Game Pass has served the developers well.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll fucking matter because they're selling that many copies. I got that many people playing it on Steam on my friends list. Like it's obviously selling well on PlayStation. They had a collector's edition over there as well. I'm not worried about the devs, but it's just sort of sparked that idea for me a little bit. But
do you see Sandfall staying independent though after this? That was the thing that's been playing on my mind. Like, does someone try to scoop them up for the sequel to whatever this is or whatever their next big game is?
Yeah, I think everyone will be trying to, but
do you think they stay independent?
I don't know. There's something magical in this game, man, and I don't think being owned by a conglomerate is that magic. You know what I mean? There's something really guerrilla about how this game's been made, and like I don't know. There's just this level of polish that this game does not have, which makes it beautiful. And I know a lot of unpolished games get released from big developers, but I don't know.
I hope they stay
don't get me wrong. Xbox could buy them and it'd probably be fine. But if they could develop this for 6 years with the money they had, I don't know how they can fund it. I got no fucking idea. But if they could do that for 6 years and it's this good, after selling a couple million copies, my hope is that a sequel they can do on their own. But hey, I think if someone was to buy them, I think they would have enough leverage to be like, just let us cook. Because this game is something special. I'm only a little bit in. I don't want to really talk about it too much. Yeah. But if you're thinking like me, I don't know if I've got time to play it. You'll make time. You'll make time. You'll find time.
I hope we don't get a sequel to this. You know what? I'd love for them to be like Joseph Fares, you know what I mean? Like he hasn't done a sequel to like Two Brothers or A Way Out. They're the same sort of style of game, but done, a very different tale each time. I'd love for them to do that. Like take different styles and give us like this sort of JRPG system that they've made and all that sort of stuff. Like I think that would be sick. Like just giving us new stories every single time. But I'm sure there are people out there that have like finished the game that are like, I want more time with these characters. Depending on
how it could end on the biggest fucking cliffhanger of all time. I really got no idea. I can't comment too much, but based on just playing the first 5 or 6 hours, if this is a one and done story, I will be very happy with that. Like there's no, if this wraps up questionless at the end or, close to questionless, it'll be a moment in my gaming journey that I'll remember for a very long time, and I'm happy with that.
Nice.
Are you surprised I'm like this hooked on it?
Kind of. I'm more looking forward to jumping in and playing it now to try and figure out what got you. Because I was in on it. Like, I seen it and I'm like, this is a
Yeah,
Kai last fucking game.
you haven't skipped a fucking beat on this game.
And
But the whole time I've been like, there's no way I can make time for this.
And
game.
I thought, yeah, like this. There are so many games that I'm like, this isn't a Jack kind of game, but I feel like if he played it, he would find something in it. And Expedition, when I seen it, was like, I feel like if there's a way to get Jack to play a JRPG and maybe see if he likes them, this is the one.
Hey, this might be the gateway. This might be the gateway. But actually, the thing that stuck with me the most is a comment you made months and months, like fucking when the game was revealed, probably. And you said something about the dialogue. You said, I can't remember exactly the words you said, but it was something like the dialogue seems mature, like as in these seem like 30-year-olds. They don't seem like kids or lost, or elders or whatever. They are the oldest people, in the like the
in the world.
Of it, the whole story concept is that you die at a certain age or whatever. So these people are elders, so to speak, but they seem so mature in the right way.
Yeah.
And the dialogue and stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it's there's the odd bit of dialogue where like a whole sentence will be said and your character just says, "Yeah." It's like, okay, all right, we'll just move on from that, I guess. But the story, the dialogue, the relationships are so. When people are like, "Oh, the book was better than the movie."
Yeah.
This feels like the book.
Oh,
this
that's
feels like
cool.
It's got, this feels like it's got everything it needs. Like it's not missing a scene here and it's not missing something here, and if that makes sense. So that's honestly what's kept me sort of interested in the game. But honestly, I just thought I got to try a game that what snapped the other night when I was looking at Adamfall, this South of Midnight, and Hellblade, and I was like, you know what? I need to just play the randomness thing for a couple of hours, and if it doesn't pan out, I'll just uninstall it. Like, why do I fucking care? You know what I mean? So I think I need to get a bit more. I need to broaden the horizon. So I'm happy I've started. Again, don't really want to talk too much about it because I think it's worth experiencing for yourself. But hey, if you're a Game Pass subscriber, do it. Fucking just hit that install button. It's the music, the art style, the characters, the world. It's so beautiful. The only thing that like I'm still sort of like is the combat. Like I'm 6 hours in. I think I'm just starting to get the hang of it. I've never played a turn-based game. Like this is all very new to me. So I'm playing on story difficulty, which is the easy one, and I've still died plenty of times. It's not hard. I'm just a dickhead.
Yeah. Well, there are people that I know that are playing it that are like they are gamers, like they are hardcore, and they are still trying to get the parry system down and all that sort of stuff. Like they are struggling. So it's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if other games that are turn-based are like this, but it's sort of like, even when you've had your turn, you're still on edge. You still like got shit to do, like the parrying or whatever.
Yeah.
All different enemies have different things they can do, and I don't want to get too much into it, but it's very deep. But you can sort of mold your characters a little bit. You have a bit of a say in the things you can do. So I think I'm just going to keep it narrowed focus, as opposed to like, hey, a little bit of everything and get confused. I think I'm just going to focus in on certain abilities and power, like get them better. And because I'm playing on story difficulty. Like basically it said, hey, if you can't figure out parry, don't worry about it. I'm like, great, that's me.
Cool. That's good. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad there's a way.
So I think I've got some choice going into this. But if you're playing on a higher difficulty, I think you're gonna want to understand, like at one point, like you can do earth damage and fire damage, and you know what I mean. Like it's sort of, there must be counters. There must be enemies that don't fucking handle fire damage at all, and some that are fireproof. Like there's a lot of depth to it, which it looks very interesting. I'm not sure how heavy I'm going to get into that side of things, but oh man, the story, it's so good. The music, they've really knocked it out of the park. The voice acting is phenomenal, although I was recently reminded that like Andy Serkis and people like that are in it. So and is it Charlie Cox? Daredevil himself's in it. So like there's some big names. Like expect these people to know what they're doing. So it's a really exciting game. But it's so hard because South of Midnight just came out. Fucking Doom just came out. Fucking
there's so much
what's going on.
So
we're just sitting here most nights playing Rainbow Six Siege again.
We've got to get ready for Gotta get ready for that Siege X. Also, have you seen what Siege was tweeting out today?
No.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it after the show. It's Clash is about to become a whole new pain in the ass.
I'm not ready for that.
I
not ready.
I don't want to. This has been a good episode, so I don't want to upset people at the very end. But just to put it in perspective, it appears that the Clash rework allows Clash to mount her shield, like to the floor and to corners of walls, and walk away from it.
Actually, yeah. But if she walks away from it, then I can fucking shoot her.
Yeah, but the shield now constantly zaps you, so
What, just blocks the whole walkway off, basically?
yeah, and just shoots lightning at you, like without her having to press a button. Like it just detects you and shoots. We'll talk about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Jack, thank you for joining me, mate.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, mate, anytime. Come back next week, do it all over again. Hopefully, I feel a little bit better. Sorry, I was not very talkative tonight. I apologize. But
You've done good.
yeah, we'll be back next week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. For the latest in news, reviews, and previews, don't forget to like and subscribe to One Up Games. Follow us on whatever podcast service you're listening on, and head over to the website to keep up to date with all the latest news. Until next time, everybody, may all your games be good ones, and we will catch you guys next week. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.